difficult, bread making is difficult, I am going to show you today a foolproof recipe to make your baking a great success. So, what's cooking? We continue with our Christmas series, and what's Christmas without the Christmas tree or the wreath? Yes, we are going to make them, but edible ones. Let's get started.
So let's get started with the ingredients. Most important ingredient for your bread is the flour. I'm using all-purpose flour or baker's flour. We are going to use some milk powder, salt, yeast, warm water, some sugar, some oil, and the rest of the ingredients are for the stuffing. So I'm going to come back to it when we get started with this. First thing what we have to do is we have to heat up our water. I've got around 300 ml of water here. I'm going to put it in the microwave exactly for 25 seconds and warm the water. Exactly for 20 to 25 seconds. 3 big spoons of sugar. And this is active dry yeast. I'm going to use both varieties of yeast. So I'm going to take a 1 big tablespoon of yeast and give it a nice mix. Actually, I'm going to put half a spoon more. So 1.5 tablespoon of yeast into this. This is the active dry yeast, which you have to mature in the water for a while for it to grow. We are going to cover this with anything perforative so that the air doesn't gush in, and we are going to leave it for 15 to 20 minutes for it to rise. Alright, we are adding the flour. I'm using the entire 1 kilo flour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Roughly it is 6 cups. So yeah, the 6 cup measurement is perfect. I'm also using around half a cup of fine wheat bran. You can take half and half as well, but I have found that the results are better with this. A little more. I'm adding the milk powder. For 6 cups, you need roughly 4 tablespoons of milk powder. We add a little bit of salt. Don't add too much. 2 teaspoons should be enough. And now we are adding the instant yeast. So we need around. Okay, if you are living in a place which is nice and warm, you do not need to add this. You know, the dry is enough. However, if you live in a cold place and you have winters currently, try to add this so your dough rises properly. Alright, now last but not the least, I've used around half a cup. We are not going to add the whole thing, we're going to keep little for later use. Okay, I've added almost 3/4 of the cup. To leave little for later. Right, I'm using a mixer for this. If you do not have a mixer, you can do it with hand, and it needs a lot of exercise. Your hands are going to get well exercised, but if you have a hand mixer also, it's fine. So let's dry ingredients gets mixed beautifully. It should look like a breadcrumb, but we do not want to put any water at this point, so let it get all mixed inside. This is our yeast after 15 minutes. We will add this now to our flour. Adding some hot water to this. The water needs to be hot, really hot. Around 200 ml I've taken after pouring in the yeast water. We'll see how much we need. We might need a little more, we might not need all 200. Depends on the flour actually. And the mood of the flour actually. Yes, bread is all about its mood. Sometimes you'll find the bread rises beautifully because it's feeling happy and nice and warm. Sometimes it's not. So we are going to give it a lot of love and good energy so that it rises beautifully. Keep adding water little at a time. We need a very soft. Okay. Add the leftover oil little. Just to bring it all together. As you see, the dough is coming together. Okay, I'm adding the rest of the oil now. This is not the oil that we're going to need for greasing. That is going to be extra. This is only for the dough. Using my hand just to bring it all together. Use a little bit of oil. Alright. I'm just bringing it all together now. Consistency. You need a little oil. Some. Just to now we need another 3/4 cup of oil for the rest of the things that we're going to do. So take a little bit, just dab it on top, and we are going to use a muslin cloth to cover and keep this for an hour. We are washing our cloth with some hot water. Be careful, your hands can't handle hot water. Okay, squeeze it up. You just need the napkin to be warm. We've covered the dough. We are going to let it rest for an hour. Alright, now while our dough is resting, we are going to make the filling. I have given a totally Indian twist to this beautiful pull apart Christmas tree bread. I'm using homegrown methi. Yeah, these methi leaves have grown in my garden. I'm going to show a short video of how, when I'm plucking these leaves from my garden. So this methi leaves, winters, usually we get it during the winter seasons, but I have decided to grow this, and yeah, you can enjoy this anytime of the year. Right, we are cutting our homegrown methi leaves, and we are going to use them for our bread. We also have some coriander leaves. You can also use some kasuri methi or the dried methi if you don't have the fresh variety. It's perfectly fine. There's some basil leaves and some garlic. So we are going to make our pesto now. Cut your methi into small pieces. Use a sharp knife or a scissor and cut it into really small pieces. Okay, I'm adding the garlic. For the pesto, we need some nuts. Adding some walnuts, around say 7 to 8. can add any nuts that you like. You can add pine nuts, you can add cashews, I think some almonds. This is a good way of eating the nuts as well. I'm not going to add cheese to this. I'll tell you why later on, because we're going to add the cheese later on. So I'm not adding cheese to this. The pesto is getting crushed. I've added a teaspoon of salt to this and a teaspoon of oil. Right. We are also making another version, the sweeter version. So we have ghee here, and we are adding some sugar to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you don't want to add sugar, you can add honey. But you know, the combination of ghee and sugar is a match made in heaven. And in India, especially when the chapatis are getting done, you add a lot of the ghee and some sugar on top, roll it up and eat it. Oh my god, heavenly. So I'm trying something similar here with my bread. Add ghee, sugar. I'm going to add some cardamom powder, which is mixed with the nutmeg powder. Around 2 teaspoons. And some around 2 to 3 teaspoons of cinnamon powder. So yeah, does this remind you of something? The cinnamon buns? Alright. Just a little Indian twist to our cinnamon buns. We're going to give it a nice mix. Pesto is ready. So while grinding it into a smooth paste, we have used around a tablespoon of water and a teaspoon of oil and a teaspoon of salt. Okay. See that? We also have some grated cheese ready for our bread. And we are going to check our dough now. Okay, it's risen beautifully. See? Let's get started with our Xmas tree now. Okay, we are going to punch the dough, mix, punch, mix. Okay. Make sure you knead it nicely with hand. Punch, mix, punch, mix, punch, mix. A little bit of the dough. I'm going to work on this now. So sprinkle some flour. We're going to stretch, fold, stretch, fold, stretch, stretch, fold. Okay. This is, you can put some music on when you're making bread, because yes, it needs a little bit of stretching and folding and a little bit of exercise, and you can switch on the music and do this. It's fun. I enjoy doing this. It is like a stress buster for me. It's like meditation for me. I love doing this. We are going to roll this now. Yeah, the dough is really easy to handle, stretching very beautifully. Stretch, pull, pull. You know, you can also use this dough for pizza or any kind of bread that you're making, your buns, your focaccia, any kind of thing that you're making. So easy to handle. Brush the tray. We are just going to brush it with a little oil.
Brush it generously. You can use olive oil or you can use normal oil, sunflower oil. I prefer it to be brushed with oil and not butter. Butter tends to burn a little quickly. So oil is better. Brush it well. Okay, I'm going to cut this into a nice triangle, like the shape of the tree. Just making a very light indent. Then I'm going to cut it once I've drawn this. Okay, so yes. We are going to make 2 triangles like this. Remove the sides. We're going to use it later. We don't need it now. Okay. Triangle on the tray. Let's make the other triangle. Right. I'm going to add our pesto to this very generously. Just brush a little oil also. Just random. Then spread the pesto. Cheddar finely. Cheese helps to stick together. Place your other triangle on top of this. Try to stretch this and adjust the ends. Just lightly tap it. Now we are going to cut approximately, just leave the center. Just cut approximately 1 inch distance. And as you go down, the lines are going to get bigger. Just twirling it around. And we're going to do the same with the rest of it. The bigger pieces now. It's okay, you don't have to take this. Bigger ones needs twirling twice or thrice. Just twirl it around, place
we are going to cover and keep this to rise for another 45 minutes. This is for our wreath. We're going to do the same process of stretch, pull, stretch, pull. Generously pour it all over. Spreading. Dough. Now I'm going to roll up the dough. Make a tight roll. We want it to be a little longer. There's the ends. Make it longer. Join this the two ends of the roll. Just do a little pasting job in case you think any of the portions coming out. Okay, over it is even. You can go creative with this. You can make it the way you like it. There are different ways of making this. You can make it in the shape of the sun also. I'm using some frozen raspberries to just decorate my wreath. You can use any fruit. You can avoid it also, it's fine. Just a little fun here. We are going to rest this for 45 minutes. Cover and rest it for 45 minutes. To show you one more design. So made a circle. We're going to add it to our grease tray. Stretch it up nicely. Okay. We're going to add the pesto filling evenly to all the surface. Adding the cheddar. Placing the other circle over this. Just try and make sure that you seal the end. This is the perfect size. And just sealing the ends a little. Okay, very light hands, just tap it. Place a bowl on top to make a circle. Just kind of drawing the circle
a circle, all sides. I'm not cutting yet, I'm just making the drawing, and then from here, diagonal lines. We're just making sun rays. So, yeah. Okay, now that we've got almost perfect rays, let's cut it. You can use pizza cutter also for this, or you can use a knife, a very sharp knife. Okay, lock the ends and give it a twirl. Lock the ends and give it a twirl. Finish it for the rest of the sides. Some nigella seeds. Stab it. Okay, now we're going to brush this with milk. Okay, the Christmas tree has rested for 45 minutes. I'm going to just add a little bit of chili flakes. It looks like the tree ornaments. And also add this required spice to our bread. You can go creative, you can do whatever you like. You can add some olives and cherry tomatoes to this. Cutting out a star for our tree with the same dough. Okay. Then just place the star together. Okay. Put in the oven, the middle rack. And bake it at 180 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes or till it turns nice and golden brown. I'm moving this tray up to get nice and brown, and I'm placing the tray in my wreath for baking. It's also resting for 45 minutes. Let's go for 25 minutes. Right, I have taken this out of the oven. I'll just apply a little butter on top. It's taken around 25 minutes, 20 minutes on the middle rack, 5 minutes on the upper rack. The wreath is also done. We brushed a little butter. Yeah. And we have plated it. Third and final one already. Yes, I've already brushed it with butter. And eat, enjoy. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Follow me on Insta, follow me on Facebook. Enjoy your holiday. Merry Christmas.